Hello, we are live, I am live. And if you are here live watching, then welcome back to another live English lesson right here with English Outside the Box and me, Jennifer Nascimento. So as you join live, as you talk to me, and interact in the chat, I want to know a couple of things. I want to know where you're watching from. I want to know your name if you're new. And I want to know what you think about embedded questions. Last week, we talked about the basic question structure in English. And a lot of people had asked about some other question topics, including embedded questions. Embedded questions are also something that I see a lot of learners confuse and make mistakes with. So I want to make sure you, watching live or watching the replay, understand embedded questions and understand how to use them. So again, let me know where you are joining from and what you think about embedded questions. If you are not new and you are a long-time English Outside the Box follower, then thank you. Welcome back. Thanks for learning with me. If you are new, I want to just tell you a little bit about who I am and what you can learn with English Outside the Box. So I focus on helping you, an English learner, improve your everyday English skills. So these are English skills that you need to live, work, study, be more comfortable, confident, and natural in your everyday life. So if you need to work or study or live in an English-speaking country, then I can help you do that. Right here on YouTube, there are tons of videos to help you with grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, a little bit of listening, reading, and writing, idioms, phrasal verbs, everything you need to improve your English. This video is all about listening comprehension and helping you connect with me, a native speaker, an English teacher, and to help you with your listening skills. Can you just making sure that everyone can hear me? I think you can. There is Luis Carlos, something about the sound. If you cannot hear me, let me know, but I think the sound should be good. Yes, so this lesson is all about listening comprehension. And then after, if you need support, if you need written support, if you need to read the lesson notes, I got you. You can read this full English lesson on my website. So when you finish watching this live lesson, you can go to my website, EnglishOutsideTheBox.com, and you can read the full lesson notes. All right. So there seems to be some issues. Some people can hear me and see me, and some people can't. What I recommend is refreshing your browser or your window. By clicking refresh, sometimes that's the little arrow, it helps reload the page and maybe you can hear and see me a little better. All right, so I want you to continue saying hello in the chat. I want you to continue practicing with what you hear me say. So we're going to begin with talking about what an embedded question even is. As you know, we have a direct question, we have yes or no questions, and we have information questions. So a regular question, a direct question is something like, do you love English? Or where do you live? And those are questions that you are familiar with and questions we talked about last week. And we talked about the structure of these questions. However, sometimes we don't ask a direct question like that. Instead, we put a question inside another question or inside of a statement. And that is an embedded question. So let me repeat. An embedded question is a question that's embedded or inside of another question or another statement. And what's important to know about embedded questions is that an embedded question does not follow the standard structure and question order. And we're going to get into that. So don't worry if you're feeling a little bit confused. All right, so I'm happy everyone can hear and see me. All right, okay. And then hello to everybody joining. Okay, so as I mentioned, an embedded question is a question inside of a question or a statement. The embedded question, the information that you want to know, is going to come second. Most of the time, an embedded question begins with a statement like, I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me find out. And a statement like that. An embedded question can also come inside of a question like, can you tell me? Could you tell me? Something like that, okay? So, how are you feeling so far? Can anybody watching live give me an example of an embedded question using some of the examples I just said? So using an example with a statement of, I don't know, I'm not sure, or can you tell me? And then let's see how you are watching live. If you're watching the replay, try writing some examples in your notebook, and that will give you the practice that you need. Okay, so as I mentioned, there's going to be a statement or a question in the beginning, followed by the question that you need to know. So let's look at something pretty simple, okay? We'll compare a direct question, and then we will look at an embedded question with a statement and a question. So let's imagine you need to know the time. If you ask a direct question, you would say, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? We noticed, and as we reviewed last week, the structure of that is your information question, what? Then you have the auxiliary is before that subject, it. What time is it? It's a regular question. An embedded question is something with a statement, something like, I wonder what time it is. I wonder what time it is. And if you say to somebody, I wonder what time it is, they most likely will look at their watch and tell you. So an embedded question is still getting information that you want to know, but it's just not asking directly. So that's an example of an embedded question within a statement. I wonder what time it is. Notice the order and how the order changes. We have this statement, I wonder. We have the question word still, what? Time, and we switch the subject and the auxiliary, it is. I wonder what time it is. I wonder what time it is. So again, notice the difference in order. Question, what time is it? Embedded, I wonder what time it is. As I mentioned, an embedded question can also come inside of another question. For example, can you tell me what time it is? The first question is, can you tell me? The embedded question is, what time it is? And notice the order follows the same. I wonder what time it is. It is. It comes before the auxiliary is. All right. So popping into the chat, I want to know what you think about this. So if you're watching live, the beauty of being able to watch live is asking questions, writing sentences, and getting feedback. If you're watching the replay, you can still do that by commenting below this video or on the blog with your own sentence examples. But I want to pop back in the chat and review some of the examples in there live to provide some feedback and to give you watching more examples. Levi says, if I got it right, one example could be, I wish there was a watch around. So Levis, that is similar where you're expressing a desire to know the time. However, that is not an embedded question. That is an example of a wish statement. And a wish statement is going to follow the pattern of a conditional. And just to correct you, I wish there were a watch around. Often with conditionals, we use were when we have the verb to be. Dora says, I wonder what I will be doing in 10 years' time. I wonder what I will be doing in 10 years' time. Perfect example of another embedded question with a statement, I wonder. So let's look at that statement and break it down and analyze it and look at it a little bit. Dora's sentence is, I wonder what I will be doing in 10 years' time. We can also change this embedded question to include a question. Do you know what I will be doing in 10 years' time? Do you know what I will be doing in 10 years' time? That's an example of another embedded question. The direct question of this is, what will I be doing in 10 years' time? With a question mark. So let's analyze again the difference in the order. Embedded question. I wonder what I will be doing. The subject, I, comes before the auxiliary and verb, will be doing. Embedded question. I wonder what I will be doing. The direct question is going to be, what will I be doing in 10 years' time? So again, to really make sure you understand the difference here, embedded questions have a change in the order, in the sentence, in the word order. An embedded question is going to have the subject before the auxiliaries and the verbs. So an embedded question is going to follow a standard statement word order. And you know in English, a statement word order is a subject, auxiliary, and verb. Domenico B says, I wonder what you are doing. I wonder what you are doing. So the embedded question, I wonder what you are doing. Another example is, do you know what I'm doing? Or can you tell me what you are doing? The direct question is, Jennifer, what are you doing? What are you doing? Excellent, excellent, excellent examples. So if you're watching live, continue trying to write your own examples of an embedded question. If you're watching the replay, continue trying to write your own examples. So you can start an embedded question with a statement. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Okay? You can also start things with, I need to know, if it's something that you do need to know. I want to know. Those are statements to start an embedded question. Again, you can also do, can you tell me? Could you tell me? Do you know? You can also say, is there, are there? So you can start embedded questions with any kinds of those questions. Rules. Let's review a little bit of the rules. So we've already talked about one, right? Changing the word order. And this is the most important. So an embedded question, word order is going to be following a statement order with a subject coming before any auxiliary or verb. All right? Notice as well that these embedded questions may or may not have a question mark, the punctuation at the end. May or may not have a question mark. So if your embedded question begins with a statement, I wonder, I'm not sure, I have no idea, you are not going to include a question mark. I wonder what I will be doing in 10 years' time, period. Just a statement. You're just basically thinking out loud. Can you tell me what I will be doing in 10 years' time? Question mark. If your embedded question begins with a question, then you definitely want to include a question mark. All right? So that's with the punctuation there. What else you need to know is similar to the question structure that we talked about last week is the difference between an information question and a yes or a no question. So we have another example in the chat is, I don't know where the library is. So directions, asking for directions. That's a really common example of an embedded question and a really common way that you may need to use an embedded question. So as Domenico says, I don't know where the library is. This is an embedded question and it begins with a statement. I don't know. Notice we have the question word where. That's telling us that this is an information question. Remember, information questions begin with question words. Who, what, where, when, how, why, etc. So I don't know where the library is. The library, the subject, comes before the auxiliary is. Maybe I could say, can you tell me where the library is? And then I would put a question mark. So notice in this example, with an information question, we always need to begin our question, the embedded question part, with the same question word that we originally would use in the direct question. So let me repeat that. If you're asking for information and you're using an embedded question while asking for information, then you need to include that in the embedded question. Can you tell me what time it is? I don't know where the library is. I'm not sure why he is doing that. I don't know how much the dress costs. I don't know who will be at the party. And those are some examples with information question words. If you have a yes or a no question, then you need to use if or whether. So let me ask you a question right now. Pauline, the question is how you will bring it up. Pauline, is your question an example or is your question for me about how to bring up an embedded question? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I should purchase a car or an apartment first. This is great. So Levas gives an example of a yes or a no question using the modal should. So let me get to modals in a minute. Let me start with a really basic yes or no question. I would love to know your answer. Do you love this video? Do you love this English lesson? Do you love this English lesson? Notice we have a regular direct question. Do you love this English lesson? Yes, I love it, or no, I don't. That is a direct yes or no question. You can review the basic structure of this in last week's lesson. Let's look at the embedded question. Can you tell me if you love this English lesson? Or, I don't know if you love this English lesson. I'm not sure whether you like this English lesson. Those are examples of the embedded question. Because the question was yes or no. Do you love this English lesson? The embedded question must have if or whether. Can you tell me if or whether you love this English lesson? I'm not sure if or whether you love this English lesson. All right. Notice in those examples that we also take away do or does or did. And we just include if or whether. As we're wrapping up and ending the lesson, if you're watching live, I definitely want to know if you have any questions that we need to review live together. If you're watching the replay and there's something you're still not sure about, comment below this video so I can give the answer to you later. I want to pop back in and talk about Levi's example. I'm not sure if I should purchase a car or an apartment first. This is an example of an embedded question with a statement. I'm not sure. And then the embedded question, if I should purchase a car or an apartment first. The direct question is, should I purchase a car or an apartment first? Question mark. Or should I purchase an apartment? Should I purchase a car? Those are examples of these yes or no questions, direct questions. Notice the auxiliary, the modal, should, comes before the subject I. I'm not sure if I should purchase. Okay, we've reviewed a lot in this lesson about that order, and that order is really important to understand. Embedded, I'm not sure if, because should I purchase an apartment is a yes or a no question. Remember, with yes or no embedded questions, you need to use if. So I'm not sure if I should purchase a car. I is the subject, and it comes before should in this embedded question because it's following the statement order. Can you guys tell me if I should purchase a car or an apartment first? Can you tell me if I should do this or that? Okay, that's an example of an embedded question with a question. All right. So that is more or less everything you need to know and you should know about embedded questions in English to start using them more accurately, more comfortably, more confidently, and to start using them in your own English conversations and work, school, and study situations. So as we're ending, I want to know if you need to know something else. I'm not sure if you understand embedded questions. Can you tell me if you have any more questions? Can you tell me what else you want to know about embedded questions? And we can review that in the end of this lesson. Let's do a really quick review of this. Remember, embedded questions are questions inside of a statement or of another question. Embedded questions must follow a statement order, which means the subject is going to come before any auxiliaries or verbs. If it's a yes or a no question, you need to use if or whether, and you need to leave out any auxiliaries of do or does. Something really important is maybe different time tenses that we didn't review. So, when did you eat lunch? When did you eat lunch? When did you eat lunch? That's a direct question. I'm not sure when you ate lunch. I'm not sure when you ate lunch. Can you tell me when you ate lunch? So with that example, in the past tense, notice we eliminated the auxiliary did. In a question, we often use an auxiliary did, but in the embedded question, we eliminate it and we change the verb to the past tense. When did you eat? I'm not sure when you ate. Can you tell me when you ate? Okay. Yes. So then as a review, as we're wrapping it up, you can also start an embedded question with a statement. I'm not sure. I don't know. I wonder. Let's see. Or you can begin it with a question. Can you tell me? Could you tell me? Do you know if, those examples. I am also, as I mentioned, all of these lesson notes are going to be available on my website later on this afternoon. So you can read this lesson, you can follow along with the replay of this lesson and read all of the lesson notes. You'll be able to review and read the examples, the rules, the explanations, and the details of this lesson. You can review this lesson, the notes, the examples, and everything on my website. So if you've never visited my website, tisk tisk, you should visit it when we finish here today. The website is englishoutsidethebox.com. www.englishoutsidethebox.com. And when you go there, you can look for blog and free lessons and review all of the lesson notes. This month, again, in July, we're talking all about questions. So right now, you can review the replay and the lesson notes of this lesson, embedded questions. You can also review 3 ways to start a conversation. You can review basic question structure. And I've also included the links to those somewhere on the replay of this video. So definitely review the notes there. I also add some other examples too that maybe I didn't think of on the spot in this live lesson. So the lesson notes are perfect for you to watch and replay and review again. All right, to end this lesson, I'm going to give some feedback in the live chat and end the lesson by giving some more practice. So Patricia Campos, Patricia, I think last week you were also talking to me about tag questions, weren't you? We're going to be reviewing we've already reviewed tag questions. Tag questions are another example of questions in English. Of course, I've already taught an entire lesson about tag questions on my blog. So go to that website, englishoutsidethebox.com, use the search bar and type in tag questions. I'll also try to include it somewhere on the replay of this video for you to read more and watch the video about tag questions. Did you eat? No. So it would be, you ate lunch, didn't you? You ate lunch, didn't you? I'm not sure if I wonder, did you eat lunch? Okay, Dora, let's fix that. I'm not sure if you ate lunch. Did you eat lunch? I'm not sure if you ate lunch. All right. I wonder if I should have my hair cut or not. Pauline, I wonder if I should have my hair cut or not. Direct question, should I have my hair cut? I'm not sure if I should have my hair cut or not. And yeah, your short hair looks great on you. You should definitely get your hair cut if you want to. All right, everybody. So that is going to wrap up this lesson. Let's talk about practice, because as you know, practice makes perfect. So what you want to do is definitely go to my website later and review all of the lesson notes, the sentence examples, and the explanations. You also want to try to write your own embedded question examples. You can use the format of some of the examples I used in this live video, or you can try to create your own. If you create your own, I definitely recommend to comment them below the blog or below this video to get some feedback from me and from other members of English Outside the Box. I'm also on the blog going to put a few sentences, a few direct questions for you to change into embedded questions. So if you want even more specific exercise practice, then you must go to the blog later today and review it. The practice exercises will be there. Finally, if you love this live lesson, then make sure you join me every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I am right here on YouTube teaching an everyday English lesson. Remember, these lessons are going to help you communicate better in your day-to-day, in your everyday life. And if you want even more practice with me and you want to study with me and you want to join one of my courses or training programs, then you can definitely learn more about the Phrasal Verb Conversation Club. And this is a monthly, weekly training program to help you speak more natural English and be more comfortable using phrasal verbs in English. Somewhere on here, there's going to be information for you to click, or of course, at the bottom of my English lesson, you can sign up for more information. I'm definitely happy to share more information with you about the Phrasal Verb Club. So if you need to speak more natural, confident, and comfortable English, then the Phrasal Verb Conversation Club is for you. Send me an email for more details. I hope you love this live lesson. I cannot wait to come back next week and teach you even more. Until then, I hope you have a fabulous Tuesday and happy studying. I'll see you next time. Thanks for learning with me.